welcome back, my friends, to the Sweet Spot, where IT leaders discuss IT with other leaders and those who want to be leaders. My name is Carlos Vargas, and I'm here as every week with my two co-hosts, Howard Holton and Paul Lewis. Hi, everyone.
Hey there.
How are we doing today, guys?
Doing good.
Last minute change.
You memorized that.
That was a last minute change. So hopefully I didn't screw it up too bad. I think I did okay.
Yeah, no, you did excellent. So
I got a chat during the pre-roll. Hey, you do the voice.
You had to solve 3 seconds.
Yeah, a solid second and a half.
But that's how we roll.
That's
how we roll. That's right.
It's part of what makes this so much fun to do, actually.
Zero preparation podcast.
Zero preparation. Yes.
And you know, it's funny because a lot of people, when they invite you to a podcast, they want to do a pre-call and then a set of questions. And I'm like, but like we have discussed before, like things change. You learn new stuff. The same answer is not going to be the same one. So
I've never been invited to a podcast where there hasn't been a pre-call. Like any official podcast, you know, ours is varying degrees of official. Any official podcast, there's a pre-call. There's a producer that gives me a call on technical run-throughs. It's a whole process, and they want questions or at least themes, but we don't subscribe to that mess.
No, it was actually funny. So two experiences, right? One was I have another podcast that I do, the good, the bad, and the techie. It's the Gig On podcast. And so I just recorded one with a guest from a large tech company, and their EA reached out, like chief of staff reached out like 2 weeks in advance with an email that was effectively, I have no idea what's going on. Help. I have no idea what's going on. To which I replied, basically, like, it's pretty free form. Like, this is what we ask. I don't really have a tech requirement. This is some advice I could give you, and whatever the guest is interested in is what I want to talk about. So what's exciting for them? What kind of gets them motivated? Let's talk about that, because that's engaging. And the podcast was really good. The recording was really good because we did that. We got to talk about, we spent 5 minutes before we clicked record, kind of like we do, right? And just kind of talked about, like, what are you excited about right now? Yeah, we can make a podcast out of that. Let's roll. And rolled with it. And it was really good because you have the ability, when it's free form, to not be bound by, I got these list of questions I want to get through. I got these list of points I want to make. But rather, you said something interesting. Let's dig into that. Or what about this instead? Or, you know what I mean? And you get the ability to dig deep. You get the ability to point and counterpoint and kind of, let the whatever is engaging for you is likely to be engaging for the audience. Kind of carry that.
Kind of the fear, right? That either they're going to say something they shouldn't say, or they just won't have an answer. To put any interviewee at ease, I always say to them, I'm not going to ask you a question you don't already know the answer to.
Yep.
This isn't a gotcha.
This
is not a game show. You'll know these answers.
Yep. Yep. And I also say, like, we pre-record, so if there's anything that you don't want, if there's anything you don't like, feel free to say, I want to re-say that, or ooh, can you cut that? Just say it right in the recording. It's fine. We'll go back through, we'll cut all that out. Like, my job is to make you look good, not the other way around. So like, let's just have some fun and enjoy it. And
ironically, we've never done that with this pod.
It's true. Well, that's because we don't edit.
Well, at the beginning, I did a lot of editing.
Oh, did you?
And then we say, hey, let's just do this in a different way.
Yeah, I remember that transition. I remember the day that happened, and Carlos was like, yeah, I'm not editing these anymore. We're just gonna go.
That's right.
Do your best. Run.
Be better.
Yeah.
So I don't have to.
Yeah. But the reality is, too, all of the mistakes, the little minor things, they all make it seem like a real conversation, right? They are in fact engaging. The little stumbles, the ums kind of make it engaging, right?
Right.
And it's what makes podcasts fun. And so
it's what differentiates it from like a stage, right? I expect something different of a stage. I expect something for a pre-recorded testimonial. Like those are different outcomes, different outputs, different purposes. Sure. That's not what this is.
Sure. Yeah, this is not what this is. And then I did another one that was much more like, I'm not hosting it. I'm the invited guest, right? And so a kickoff call, they want a tech check, they want to, they got everything is kind of scripted. I say it that way because I don't let anything I do be scripted. You can ask me a question, but it just has Howard's response.
Howard's response.
There's nothing else. No, nothing further. And then if there's someone else, it like their whole thing is scripted, and I'm like, I'm not doing any of that. And they're like, really? Like, you don't find that helpful? No, I find it hugely restrictive.
Right.
I want to react to like reality. I don't,
Similar to a teleprompter. I don't know you guys, but I have tried every teleprompter. I have bought them all, even the one that you put in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I can't use a teleprompter.
Yeah. I can't use a teleprompter because just seeing the words will have me think of something else.
That's right. I'm easily distracted by my own words.
Right. I didn't think of this when I wrote it. However, it's really interesting to look at it this way. Like,
I find myself changing the acting when I see the words.
Sure.
I want to stress different words, and it's going to sound different today as compared to my practice yesterday.
Sure. Yeah. Or you placed the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Right.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
With all the different updates that we constantly do, we post on social media, we post LinkedIn, YouTube, all the different places where we go. And keeping those things up to date is sometimes a massive task. But then if we focus most of all are proudly on LinkedIn and our audience also. So keeping your LinkedIn profile, let's call it up to date, proudly pristine, or I don't know how to call it, like better, so it will look more attractive.
I hate it. I hate all of that.
So you don't do it?
No, I don't. I really don't. I do the bare minimum necessary when I change a job and maybe one other time, but I don't like it at all. And so
why?
Because I feel like it's bragging. Like at some point, like it's the same reason I don't like writing a resume. It's why my resumes were always awful. Like I'm really good in the room because in the room it's all about telling a story. Your resume doesn't tell a story. Your resume is bullet points of bragging, and I've never enjoyed it at all. Right. And I've interviewed a lot of people, and that's part of what I've interviewed 10 times as many people as I have submitted my resume. You know what I mean? So like I've seen a lot of resumes and like I'm pretty good. If it's on my resume, interview me about it. Like dig in, jump in, right? I'll defend it. It's fine. But it makes my resume pretty flat. And so I don't like doing it. So same with LinkedIn. I don't like it. No.
So then what do you do? Do you just post and post? Do you hire someone?
But before that, do you actually see value in the content that's on LinkedIn?
I do. I enjoy.
Is there a goal you're looking to achieve? Either the wide spread of a message or changing your street cred. I mean, one particular topic. Is there something you're?
I mean, absolutely right. I think LinkedIn is kind of a walking resume today. I get a lot of traffic and traction from LinkedIn, and if I have a meeting, I tend to get after the meeting or during the meeting. Right, people tend to look at my profile, so it has value in being correct. And so that actually it's interesting, but over the weekend I went, I haven't posted any like profile changes and my role has changed a lot. So I should probably do that. And then I spent 20 minutes staring at the same screen that had 5 words on it as I tried to figure out what to type and then delete and type and delete. And I went, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm just going to go like LinkedIn has a marketplace for this. So let's go submit on the marketplace. So I submitted on the marketplace and I got, 10 replies. All of which I deleted. Right. And this isn't an expensive service. Let's say it's $275. Right. That seemed about reasonable about where it's at. I'm sure that those that didn't put a price, some were less and some were more. I don't actually care because 0 of them said anything at all about me. Like I've asked you to rewrite my profile. You didn't even look at the title, right? The little swag that's attached to your name. They didn't even look at that. to make it at all personal. It was just here's the form letter response. Please click a link to set up a Calendly meeting. Well, I'm a CTO. I'm booked constantly, 100% of the time. Right. I am booked all the way through lunch. I am booked until it is no longer working time, by which time I'm too burnt out to have a conversation with my wife. Like I just sit and read. You know what I mean? Like I'm done. I'm not setting up another call. And I'm certainly not going to set up a call for someone that can't take 20 seconds and go, I've done 25 different profiles for executives like you in these fields. Like just that would have been enough for me to go, okay, cool. So I can at least see that you took a second to know one thing about me that is relevant to the very thing I'm asking you for.
Do you think that's bucket of size? So let's say you found a $2,500 person versus a $250 person. Would you expect them to respond to you in a personalized manner?
No.
But 250 is much more commodity.
No, because I've received the ones in the past from career coaches and profile coaches where their package is $1,500, and it's still a form letter, right? And why would I expect them to be any different when the people trying to sell me enterprise equipment still use a form letter? You want to sell me $20,000 to $2 million for the stuff? It's still a form letter,
Right?
Right? We've worked with companies just like insert name of company here, bracket your company, and all of those get the industry wrong. All of them get the industry wrong. And they have it almost every place I've ever worked. Right? Or they miss the mark in some huge way because it's just an automated freaking response from a database. Right? If you looked at my website, you'd realize what I did and never would have thought to send that message. Right? And I get it. It's a numbers game. Fine. But the number of responses I will give to that numbers game is 0. I'm not participating. Right? And I think it's ridiculous to expect us to participate. And if the goal is to actually get to a sale, I'd rather have fewer at-bats and a higher batting average.
So now that you say that, will you consider if the response will have been a little bit seasoned, even though they did it automated, like with AI, to, like you said, to read your profile and say, hey, Mr. X, that read it from the profile that you gave them, I see that you are blah. So at least a little automation on that?
Absolutely. That would have been fine because 1, no one else did it. And 2, it would have felt like I'm not wasting my time and I want to pay for the service. I don't want to do it myself. I want to pay someone. But how do I know you have any expertise whatsoever when in order to get the work, you're not willing to put an effort?
Right.
Right? How do I know you're going to put an effort after I give you the work? Well, I don't because you put in no work beforehand. Right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So the goal of sales is to establish trust. Right? Post sales, I'm living up to the trust that I established. But if you can't establish trust in the sales process, there's no reason for me to ever give you $1. And I think, like, if I think through why I get frustrated and why I go on the rants that I do sometime against sales, that's exactly it. Your job is to establish trust, and nothing you've done has given me trust. Matter of fact, almost everything you've done has eroded any default trust you may have earned. Right? I don't know if you're a human. I don't know if you're a person. I don't know if you can do the things that you say you can because it's all automated and there's 27 mistakes in the automation.
Yeah, they're phishing. Right. And while they don't even expect to get, 10%, it doesn't matter to them because it's a volume game.
Right. And if it's a volume game, all it really does is put you on my ban list. I just block you.
Yeah. Right? Which I kind of buy for $250, but I absolutely don't buy for $1 million.
Sure. But it happens all day long, right? How many spam messages do you get from somebody trying to sell you something?
Yeah, 100%. In fact, I forwarded you one today from an organization to which all 3 of us worked for. And had they spent 2 seconds looking at my LinkedIn profile, they would know not to send me a letter.
Right. And I mean, I think we've talked about this before, right? How many CTOs exist in the world? There's probably, I don't know, let's call it 350,000.
Right.
Right. That seems like a reasonable number. Let's say there's 350,000 CTOs. Yeah. How many of us do you think you can piss off? Right?
Like before if you start to get a brand.
If you send an email to 10,000 CTOs, because we all get the same spam, and I block you, right? And I go to a different organization, you send it to me again, and I block you. That's not just a failed at bat. That's you're not getting into the organization. And I have had people that I've blocked that come in through a different path, and I just go, cool, we're not buying from them.
Right.
Like, you can just cancel it now. I'm not buying from them. I already blocked them. I don't appreciate their sales tactics. I've blocked them. But I'll never block you if it's personal. I'll never block you if you take a minute and actually be a human.
Right.
Right. And I'm cool. Like, cool. It's just not the right time. Oh, okay, cool. I don't use that at this company. Okay, cool. Right. You're always welcome to circle back in that case. But
Right.
when it's I'm just burying your already overburdened day in more garbage that you have to work your way through, I'm just going to block you. Especially if you come back and you go, can you connect me with the right person? No. If I wanted your service and I wasn't the right person, I would have already forwarded it to the right person.
Right.
Right. So your passive aggressive sales tactics, block.
It's a lot of block. What percentage of blocking of incoming email? Incoming solicitations, I mean, not incoming email.
So the percentage of incoming solicitations that end up on the blocked list at this point, probably cruising 65 to 75%.
Nice.
Have you ever tried Unroll Me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that doesn't work. That works maybe 1 in 10.
Oh, yeah? Why is that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not good enough.
Because you click unsubscribe, and first off, they lie to you. This may take up to 3 days. No, it doesn't. It's a database. It takes 1 second. Right? So what are you going to do over the next 3 days that you couldn't do right now this second? Oh, you can re-enroll me. That's what you can do. Right? So
right, there were 18 topics, and you just unsubscribe for one of the topics.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually go into the subscription information, and I try to see if it let me update the information. And I go and I put something in there.
You put something fake in and then unsubscribe later?
Yeah.
No, like I put like do not reply at example.com.
Oh, sure.
Or Howard.Holton at. No wonder you've been getting so many solicitations.
Yeah, I get a lot of. I probably get a few hundred emails a day that are solicitations.
Any of them say hi, Carlos?
They do not. They do not. Although the number of times where I get a solicitation that is in fact the wrong name boggles the mind.
It does. At the very least.
At the very least,
get my name right.
Yeah, and I get it on LinkedIn too, right? People that reach out on LinkedIn. Hi, Bob.
That seems like it would be impossible on LinkedIn, yet it definitely occurs.
It's totally automated garbage, right? Hey, I'm not Bob. Can you piss off?
Right.
Like, why are you so upset? I'm upset because you couldn't. Like, this is supposed to be a personal one-on-one communication. My name is in the top of the window. Were you typing? Don't get mad at me that your automation failed and I got offended that your automation failed. You already couldn't put forth the bare minimum amount of effort to see if I was a human.
Yeah.
You used one of your in-mails to go directly to me.
Yeah. You used something you paid for to piss me off.
Right, exactly.
Right? Like,
there's now a negative benefit to you.
Yeah. I also love the ones where they followed me to a new company and call and talk to me like I'm at the old company.
Nice.
Right? They're literally emailing the new email address at a new domain to say, hey, just curious if this project at insert name of former company ever kicked off. How would I know? I'm there.
Exactly. I assume so.
Like, what are you wanting me to do? I pick up and have a sales call about manufacturing? I'm not in manufacturing anymore. So what the hell are you thinking? And I probably get, I don't know, 8 of those a week.
Wow. Still a lot.
That's a high number.
Yeah. Oh, they're terrible. They go the same place. They go the same digital round file.
That being said, I still find it's wondrous that org changes happen in our organization, and now I have classic IT, which I didn't have before. But I've seen in the last couple of weeks an upswing in classic IT solicitation in LinkedIn, as if like I didn't change my LinkedIn profile. I didn't suddenly add I now have IT, but all of a sudden I start to turn that engine up again. The automation is unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, I really want that IT virtual or AI virtual assistant.
Right.
Right. Like just I don't ever want to. Don't even let me look at my inbox. Just give me a Slack channel that aggregates all of it. Right.
Right.
So and so from your organization's looking for an answer to this question. So and so is looking for an answer to this question.
Right.
Right. Are you interested in products in any of these categories?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like just give me that. Then I don't
Right.
have. And if I say no to all, then it just auto deletes them.
Right. You don't want them to auto respond. You just want them to delete it.
No, because auto response is like it's like waving at a dog.
You're engaging. Yeah.
Yeah, you've engaged. You are a real person. It's not. They're not going to stop barking. They're just going to bark more. I don't want them to bark more. They didn't get the point.
Right.
Right. I haven't responded to 17 of the emails you've tried to send me. Stop sending them to me. Doesn't seem to work.
Right.
Right.
Are you guilted by the last few that says you haven't responded to me in 6 weeks, and therefore I'll give you 1 week left before we cut off ties?
No, not even a little bit. Not even slightly. I am so immune to that sort of crap. It's ridiculous.
Do you realize the bomb will be going off in 30 seconds?
It's fine.
You'll no longer get 50% discount on this product.
Yeah, it's fine. I wouldn't have bought it at 5% because I have no interest in the product. I don't know why. Our price is going up at the end of the month. Cool. I wasn't going to buy you before.
Right. It must suck for anybody else who was planning on buying it. But for me, I'm scot-free.
At this point, my savings is 100%.
That's right.
That would be funny if we capture all those responses. There's actually a bot for phone calls.
Yes.
That waste the telemarketer's time. It would be cool to then just put a bot like that is like, oh, and respond with those back.
Yep.
We should find a developer.
Someone asked on our internal Slack, they're like, "Hey, I got a text message from our CEO.
Yeah.
What should I do?" And of course, they're like I'm obviously not going to. It's obviously not real, but what should I do, right? And somebody went, "Does anyone have a good idea to how to waste their time?" And I went, "Oh, well, yes. Here's a picture of gift card 1, gift card 2, gift card 3. Send them one at a time."
Nice.
So I'd love to have the same. Like I almost want an AI that recognizes the signs of a bulk solicitation, and then just starts replying back with bulk replies. You know what I mean? That are just as generic.
Just
like thank you for reaching out. I am in fact interested in insert product.
product name.
Don't even replace the brackets. Right, like just make no attempt whatsoever. You could find my Calendly link here. Insert Calendly link, and there's no link. It just says the words in brackets. Insert Calendly link.
Or do you want to actually set up several meetings in there candidly and then not show up?
Oh no, I don't want to not show up. I want to decline 1 minute before the.
I see. You have to have the automation.
So they didn't even wait. They wait like 3 minutes and then they go, "Son of a bitch." Right. And then the AI auto replies and goes, "Sorry, had to cancel. Can we reschedule for another time?"
Use the Candly link.
What would be even better is to then go, "I'm available on this date and this date, although I'm in these time zones. Can you accommodate these time zones?"
And then it will detect if you're Eastern, then it will put you like Samoan time.
Right.
Or something like that.
Sounds fun. There needs to be an app, some sort of. I'd subscribe to a service that did that.
I would too. I would absolutely. Like I'm pretty
screw with solicitations.
Absolutely. Right. And I look, I hate to pick on people, but seriously, just be personal. And if you don't have time for it, then you don't have time for me. And that's okay.
Right.
I'm not going to get upset.
Repeat that again. If you don't have
time for me, that's okay. If you can't be personal, it means you don't have time for me. And if you don't have time for me, that's okay. Right. There are very, very, very few capabilities I've had to search to buy. Right? I can generally find something good enough in about 20 seconds. True. I don't need your email. I don't need your Like, I don't save all this to someday go back and search and say, hey, who once reached out to me about Kubernetes support? I don't do it's deleted.
Never happens.
Right? So those emails are a waste anyhow. They're a total, complete, and utter waste. What are you going to do? Hit me on the one day when that happens to be like the center of conversation? It's never going to happen.
You've never received a solicitation that you thought to yourself, I had never thought I had that problem. I'm glad you raised it.
I
Tell me
cannot.
more about your product.
I cannot think of one.
Neither can I.
And
It's
if
never happened.
No, if it happened in 2006.
Right. When I was less in tune with
I
operating
was less
IT.
mature at the time. I was less knowledgeable at the time, and the number of solicitations you got were far fewer.
Right.
Right. So sure, I am certain it happened 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Certain. Fine. It's not 15 or 20 years ago. So unless you're selling time machines, knock off the solicitation. And if you're selling time machines, you don't need the solicitation. Word of mouth will solve it for you.
And then the other side of that equation, if there was something I wanted to buy, make it really, really easy for me to find the person to talk to about buying that thing. Right. Vast majority of websites have none of that. There's no call Tom. It's not entirely obvious who I need to call. It's some random, 1-800 number or some form I have to fill out, hoping somebody gets it in some way and responds to me. It's kind of insane.
I actually don't mind the little chatbot window that pops up.
Yeah, sure.
How can I help? What would be useful is just go, hey, like you haven't responded. It's cool. Maybe you just browse on the site. If you do need some personalized help, and wait 5 minutes. If you do need some personalized help, call Tom and give me a phone number for Tom.
Right.
That'd be super useful.
That would be very helpful.
Because if I'm sitting on your site for 10 minutes, maybe I haven't found the answer.
Right.
Right. And then, hey, look, that I'm actually willing to interact with.
Yep.
But I also haven't found I really haven't found one of those chatbots that gives me what I need at that point. Right. For tech companies, which is amazing because like the California Department of Motor Vehicles, their chatbot is fucking awesome.
It's amazing. Interesting.
It is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's also the world's most complicated website. So,
right.
But like, maybe some of the tech companies like HP, if you're listening, HPE, it's impossible to find stuff on your website. Maybe have a chatbot that I could type in. I need drivers for a DL360 G8 and take me to the driver's page. Like Dell, you could do the same thing. Give me all the I would like all a page with just the firmware updates for my Dell Vertex.
Right.
That'd be great.
Yep. And then tell me which ones are not up to date.
Yep. But be personal. And it's amazing, right? Like we're big Disney fans. Disney is personal in everything they do.
Yes. 100%.
Right? Why are people fans of it? Because they're personal in everything they do.
Right. And they make it really, really easy to share information.
And easy to consume.
Yeah.
Right. Doing business with them where you can do business is as easy as it could possibly be. Make it easy. Don't make it hard for me to do business with you. I mean, I would say like look, if you're a SaaS and you don't have the pricing on your website, you're not actually a SaaS. You're a pain in my SaaS. That's what you are. Right. And frankly, I think
even if it's B2B, like you can be SaaS
B2B,
or B2B. You don't have to be B2C. No.
Yeah, I don't care. Put the pricing on your website. Right.
If you're the type of pricing, I guess.
Sure. But if your pricing doesn't have high variability, what's the problem?
Right. True.
Right. Like I realize you seem to think it's proprietary, but it's only proprietary because you're ashamed of it.
Right.
That's true.
Right. If you're proud of it, put it on the website. If you're not proud of it, change it to you're proud of it and put it on the website.
Right.
If you don't think it's worth it, then change the pricing. Like I really don't know what to tell you. Right. If it's highly configurable, fine. Don't put it on the website. But if I call you up and you're like, yeah, I can have a quote in 3 minutes. Okay, it's not highly configurable.
That's right.
Right. Like knock it off.
But they really want to know if they're answering your question and producing an outcome-based solution for you. Not just they're not a commodity,
To be customized.
So I had
to
a conversation earlier. We've talked about the 3 types of CIOs before, right? The finance CIO, and then there's the technical CIO, and then there's the kind of transformative CIO.
Yep.
Right. So this is what occurred to me. So old school selling, which is all about TCO, ROI, and cost reduction and cost control. That's the first CIO.
Sure. Yeah.
Like I don't care what you tell me the TCO is. I don't care what you tell me the ROI is. I know you're lying because you don't know my organization and how I'm
That's right. You don't know my calculation. Yeah.
right. And considering you couldn't give me the pricing because it's highly customizable, isn't the ROI and the TCO thus highly customizable?
Right.
Right. Okay. So I'm already not going to believe you, but that's fine. That goes to that first type of CIO, which I am not. And those guys are rapidly dying in the industry, right? They're retiring and moving on. Then you have the second one, the engineering one. Engineering, that's actually outcome-based selling. Right? An engineer wants the outcome, but the outcome is always technical, which is why it fits that engineering-based CIO.
Right.
That third one, transformative, I want the value. I don't care about the outcome.
Yeah.
I'll help you find the outcome. It's fine.
What's going to create for me?
Correct. What value are you going to bring to my business? Not technology, not my tech stack, right? Not speeds and feeds and whiz bangs and faster performance and more IOs. I don't care about any of that. Yep. I care about what the value is. How does that translate into dollars to my business?
Right.
Right. That's what I want. And if you can't do that, why should I trust you? That's cool. Those are separate things. I don't mean that like if you can't do that, I shouldn't trust you. I mean, if you don't have the ability to really define the value, then define the trust.
Yeah.
And what does trusting you get me?
Because some offerings aren't necessarily geared towards business value. There might be widgets, there might be utilities, there might be but even smaller in nature. Yeah.
But even those, right? Even those. I was talking to someone about Microsoft Copilot, right? And they're like, well, Microsoft wants us to get in the beta program. It's going to cost us X number of dollars. And my boss is very finance focused and doesn't think it's worth it. And I said, okay, like your boss is wrong. Like, okay. I'm like, well, okay, so we did this benchmark on this product, and this is a minor product, and all it was the upgrade, just the difference between version 1 and version 2. Right. So we benchmarked all of these things, and it's seconds. It makes a difference of seconds. So you wouldn't think it's very major. But then we did the aggregation based on what the Department of Labor has for statistics for a small organization, a medium organization, and an enterprise. And we put that together. And then we used the same statistics for ratio of employee versus manager, and then average pay for employee, average pay for manager, and the number of meetings they have a week.
Right.
And then we computed it and showed the number of days that you save in a year just by clicking that upgrade across your organization, and the number of dollars that you save. And an enterprise saves $4 million a year on a free upgrade.
Nice.
Cool. That's great. But that's the value of iterative change. So I told them, I said, next time you're working in Excel is a perfect example, right? And you click 3 times to figure out a formula, throw it in ChatGPT. I'm in Excel and I'm trying to accomplish the following. Can you give me a formula that does it? And then paste that back in.
Right.
Every time you do that, you save 30 minutes.
Notice how fast that is.
Yep. Now think about the fact that you don't have to do the task switching anymore, and Copilot will do that for you right within the app.
Right.
And then multiply that by how many people you have in your organization. Right.
Yep.
No, the dollars were not a lot. Right. So the dollars are immediately going to vanish. You could save for the entire company. The ROI could be restricted just to your team. I could show that value. Right. Like we're not talking a lot of dollars. And this is not, I'm not trying to sell Copilot. I think I've talked about some of the failures that it's had in my experience in some of the beta programs I've been in. That being said, even iterative change has value, and you should be able to show that value. You should be able to talk to it. If you can't tell me where the value is, go back to the drawing board. You don't understand your product. And if you don't understand your product that well, you don't have to be perfect, but steer me in a direction so we can start a conversation.
Yeah. Especially if you're asking me to spend money I wasn't planning on spending.
Especially.
Yeah.
Right? Especially. Like if you're like, hey, switch to us, we do this better than whoever the incumbent is, fine. Sure. Like I understand the value of the incumbent, and therefore I should be able to, the transitive property means I understand the value of your product. Okay, cool. So let's talk dollars and cents. What are you going to do for me that they don't, that gives me a 2x return on the cost of the change. Right. Because if you tell me we do it better for $1, right, for the same dollar, I mean, if we do it better for the same dollar, cool, you're still not worth the iterative change.
Yeah. But my requirement to convince somebody else adds another level of
for sure
based conversation. convincing me and me alone, easier conversation, right?
Sure.
Because either I want it or I don't want it. I see value, I don't see value. But if we now have to work together to convince someone other than me, either my peer or my boss, that's a whole different set of equations.
Sure. Well, how many times has someone come into your office and said, I think we need to buy this thing, do this thing, make this change?
Mhm.
And they've talked to the vendor and they have nothing from the vendor. They're armed with nothing. They're given
Right.
no tools.
Right.
Right? Okay, so the only way for me to get information is to look at their website. You talk to them for 15 minutes, you're excited, but I have to look at the website, or I have to like sit through a presentation to get the information they already gave you.
Right.
Like why did they not arm you as the champion?
Right.
Right. That's the other thing I'd love to see. If you're going to send someone into the office of the person that controls the budget, arm them properly.
Right. Give them a few slides. Yeah.
Correct. And no, they haven't got a clue how to talk to a CIO. Not the
Right.
slightest idea. Or a VP of engineering. They don't have the slightest idea. Whoever it is that holds the budget.
Right.
Give them a slide or two.
Exactly.
Give them 3 slides
How
that
hard could this be?
talk to the business. You know what I mean? They can stumble through it. It'll show that they put forth effort. You put forth effort. You've come together. There's a little partnership there. It's
Yeah.
instant trust.
Throw both logos on. Make it easy. Yeah.
Right. Like, but how many times have I seen that?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And that should be easy. Like, you've already done the hard part. You got a meeting. You're excited.
Right.
I mean, heck, put together a thing on your website that says, need help pitching to your boss?
Yeah.
Right. We'll help you. Do you know who does that?
Conferences.
Conferences. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never actually used that.
I haven't either.
But when I've gone through the tool, I actually thought they were pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they had little decks and snippets of things to say. I thought they were well done.
Yeah. And so for those of you that are like, I don't know how to do that, why don't you check out some conferences and see and find the link that says, hey, convince your boss that this conference is valuable.
Now that you say that, I wonder if I've been on the receiving end of that. Has somebody else in my team used that to convince me?
It's entirely possible.
You will never know.
True. Yeah, I'm relatively easy saying yes to those things in general, but
Yeah, me too.
but even then, that would be interesting. Maybe I'll have to ask. Has anybody tried to snow me by giving me a conference-based answer?
But they're not trying to snow me, right? They just want to go to a conference,
Right.
and there's a tool to do it. And I just want to know why to send them to a conference. And I'm like you, right? I'm like, yeah, sure, it's budgeted. Like, you have budget for one conference. Is this the one conference you want to go to?
Enjoy.
It absolutely is. Okay, cool. Go.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Well, tell me about it when you come back.
Yeah, exactly. Do the needful when you return. Right? But you, in fairness, you and I manage a little different than most
True.
people.
Yeah.
It should come up in a couple days. Now that you say that.
Yeah. Well, I think it would do. I think it would benefit if more people manage the way we do. Right.
Carlos,
Those people
valuable
will hire adults.
So I think that the goal of sales is establishing trust. That definitely was a good detail in there, and to understand that when you establish trust, then you can move forward. If not, like you said, you establish trust with that first connection. Remember in the name, not.
And it's a low bar here. It's a low bar. We're not looking
It's a low
for
bar.
you to
Just the name that
understand
is
the name of my
right there in
kid.
front of you.
Yeah.
But that will help you to then get to the sale. So, my friends, make sure that you share, you subscribe, and we'll see you on our next episode.